Do you ever, I mean,
Yeah.
most people wake up in the morning and decide what they're going to do with their life, you
Yeah.
know, day to day, year to year. What do you think Mrs. Tingle does every day she wakes up? Because she just breathes hatred.
Yeah. Breathes hatred. She doesn't have a TV, so
Just-
she's not watching the news. Weird character choice for someone who loves history, a
Yeah.
history teacher to not have a TV. But I don't know what she does, you know? Like, she's got a nice house.
Well, if you think about it, 1999, the History Channel.
I'm not thinking history. I'm thinking about, like, current events,
Oh.
you know? What will be our history
Well,
one
that's
day.
the current. She only cares about history.
Oh, so she's like, well, I can't wait until this is in a book.
Don't be stupid, put it down!
You lose, Mr. Turner.
It's been about 2 years since we've done a rewind,
That's crazy.
our most popular series,
Yeah.
and yet we just never do it. Because why? And you know what? I thought, hey, it's super popular. Let's pick a movie almost no one remembers.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the bit, right? That's now become a little bit, started out with a little Butch Cassidy,
Mm-hmm.
and then Tremors,
Clue.
and Clue, and then we kind of shifted into, like, what is just the goofiest movies that we love,
Yes.
or that we remember loving, and talk about those, even though no one knows what they are.
And you picked Teacher's Missing Tingle because I had never seen it.
Yeah.
I had seen it on VHS and DVD,
Yeah.
like previews or whatever, but I never actually
And
watched
we
it.
got here through, because we were talking about doing The Faculty.
Yeah.
It's a little too close to Sinners. And
Yeah.
I will stand The Faculty. And then we went to Disturbing Behavior, which has Katie Holmes in it.
Yes.
And I was like, wait a second. What if we did Teacher Missing
What if we go
instead?
back to Kevin Williamson?
What if we go back? Like, yeah, let's. We had something with The Faculty, but it wasn't the movie.
Yeah.
It was Kevin.
It's Kevin. It was Kevin all along.
Kevin.
Written and directed by Kevin Williamson. I assume he got this deal because of how well Scream 1
I mean,
and 2
this is
did.
like, he's like, it's Dawson's Creek, Scream, and he's also doing The Faculty. Like, yeah, the man is.
So he's on fire, late 90s, gets this movie to direct. He's actually going to be doing Scream 7 in 2026.
Yeah, he is.
So this is his first, so it probably actually worked out that we picked this.
There we go.
But let me read you this cast. You already mentioned Katie Holmes, but you got Jeffrey Tambor.
Yep.
You got the cutie that was meant to be a star and never was, Barry Watson from Seventh Heaven.
Seventh Heaven.
You got Molly Ringwald back when she was her cameo era.
Yeah.
Vivica A. Fox showing up for the hottest cup of coffee you ever see.
Well, it's the smallest cup of coffee, you know? It's ridiculous.
And then you have Marissa Coughlan, who, you know, was in Freddy Got Fingered and a couple other stuff, but nowadays don't really see her too much. But then teaching Mrs. Tingle, played by Helen Mirren, before she really, I mean, she was known in America, but she didn't really blow up till after, like, playing Queen
Before
Elizabeth.
we talk about
Yeah.
the legend, you forgot that Michael McKean's also in this movie.
Michael McKean also in it for a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
The plot is very simple, 90s teenage movie, almost rom-com light,
It's
almost
like-
horror, almost not anything at all.
I think, and that's you know, as we're talking about, that's the biggest thing. No one, and again, we'll talk about it in a little bit. This movie did have its issues in the culture
Yes.
and had to be changed. But yeah, no one, and maybe that's why, like, it's just, what is this movie?
Yeah.
Is it supposed to be like, you know, is it a horror? Is it a thriller? Is it a teen, like, whoa, what if you kidnapped your teacher?
What is this?
Oh, just Tingle's final exam. Tempting, isn't it?
Slither away. Let's go.
The smartest girl in school caught cheating. It'll be scandalous.
We're going to be expelled. No graduation, no nothing. We'll just explain that you weren't involved. I'm innocent.
Even the innocent sometimes burn at the stake. Now get out of my house.
Mrs. Tingle gets kidnapped
Yeah.
by Katie Holmes, Barry Watson, and Marissa Coughlan. Katie Holmes' character is, I guess, the main character.
Yeah.
And she wants to be valedictorian so she can get into all the colleges.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the movie explicitly says, oh, she's still smart. She's still going to get into colleges.
Yeah, well, she can't pay her dad.
Yeah.
I guess left, or
Her
maybe
mom
died,
is a waitress.
or her mom's a waitress.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, she works really hard, but Mrs. Tingle is in the classroom awful.
Just the worst teacher you can ever think of.
Mean.
And you've always had one teacher like this,
Yeah.
so you can easily relate.
Yeah.
One teacher that is always like, you know what, I hate all these kids. And then you wonder to yourself when you get home from school, you're like, why is that person even a teacher?
Yeah.
But Helen Mirren, I think, is the glue to this movie.
Yeah.
She's not even hamming it up. She's treating this role like she's going for the Oscar.
Yeah.
But that's how she's always treated every role. If you've ever seen her in movies from the 70s and 80s.
Yeah. Or in Fast and the Furious.
Or in Fast and the Furious. She is taking every role seriously. And she's working with kids, really. Katie Holmes, she's great in Dawson's Creek back then. But watching her in this, I was sort of like, if, for example, if Teaching Mrs. Tingle was your first exposure to Katie Holmes, you'd be like, she's not that great of an actress.
No.
But then I think about it more. If she's so great in Dawson's Creek, in Disturbing Behavior, because she is good in Disturbing
I
Behavior.
would say she's great in Disturbing Behavior.
But she's the reason you remember that movie.
Yeah.
And then she's great in other things that come out later past Miss Tingle. I start to wonder, is Kevin Williamson even a good director?
I think I think he does some incredible scripts.
Great writing, yeah.
And great ideas.
Yeah.
When he has to execute them, it's just not good. What are we trying to do here?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, yes, she's an awful teacher. But the whole movie as I'm rewatching this, I'm like, how would they even get out of this situation?
And they don't.
Even like whatever happens at the end, she could still be like, yeah, can we though talk about how I was kidnapped?
Yeah.
And
It's
held hostage?
I was kidnapped.
And I
it's
think
never
the cops would have
fully
been like, yes, we will also deal with that.
Yeah.
Well, yes, you almost murdered a teenager. We will also deal with the kidnapping situation as well. Because at what point is it just self-defense, you know?
It's all self-defense, really.
All self-defense.
From both sides, honestly.
I mean, it is like, from the moment they go to her, that they walk into her house, I'm like, yeah, this is, how am I going to root for these three characters the rest of the movie? And you can't. And maybe if it had become like a movie that was like, I don't know, like, I guess maybe the idea is like, you never know what someone's going through.
Mm-hmm.
And you never know someone's perspective. But like even Tingle uses, like you can't tell when she is using like maybe her past experience to manipulate them. You don't know if that's real or if it's not real.
Now, the funniest bit, because she's manipulating Marissa's character. I can't remember her name. The girl trying to be an actress.
It's Jo Lynn.
Jo Lynn. Okay.
And there's Leanne.
Okay, that's probably why I decided to forget all names.
Yeah.
But there's a funny moment where Jo Lynn is sitting with Mrs. Tingle, and Mrs. Tingle's trying to manipulate her by telling her about her ex, Richard Tingle.
Yeah.
And if you're a dumb human like I am, you immediately get what she's doing. But the kid takes so long to figure out what's happening that Helen Mirren's character, Mrs. Tingle, basically has to like do a smirk at the end, to tell the kid like, "Oh, I'm messing with you."
Yeah.
And that's what I like most is when it's able to get into like, Kevin is really a good writer when he gets to be a little goof.
Yeah.
Like the whole stuff about irony, the whole movie,
Yeah.
it's kind of funny because it's like, yes, he's probably poking fun of Alanis Morissette, but also like a lot of people, I mean, to this day, we
don't know what irony is.
And at this point, I think we're post-ironic.
Yeah. Even I couldn't even tell you at the end of the movie when the knives are like, when she really hits her like, oh, it's not ironic. Is that like, but is that still ironic? Like I don't even think at the end of and Mrs. Tingle's like, well done, you know, like I'm like, but even is this ironic? It's just.
So but I will say, so let's talk about the real life implications.
Yeah.
And let me ask you a question. Basically, Columbine happens around this time. So they have to rewrite a couple things.
And the movie was originally called Killing Mrs. Tingle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that why there's a bow in this movie instead of like gun or something like that?
I can't tell what was really cut out or if like by the end of it they were really going to have to kill her.
I mean, it had to get to a point, and I understand real world it complicates movies and schedules because 9/11 obviously changed a bunch of movies.
And the thing is, I get it. You take a movie about killing teachers and you maybe change the name.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't know. At what point are we just like, it's not a satisfying movie?
Yeah.
And like you're left with more questions.
Yeah.
You know.
Because I'm not reading up on it. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
try to read up on it on what changes were made, but it feels like whatever changes they made it sadly into a mostly ineffectual movie.
Yeah.
And there are funny parts. There are so bad it's good parts. When Jolene is doing The Exorcist, it's like so cringy.
Oh.
It like turns back around.
Yeah.
But there were certain points where she was redoing The Exorcist. I was just like, oof.
You know what? I don't know what it is. Maybe I think there's something to like I don't know where I watch this on Hoopla, the library service.
I tried to watch
Sorry.
it on Hoopla.
Apparently there's only one copy in Central Arkansas. Across like 4 library systems.
A digital copy.
Watch on Hoopla. The closed captioning was edited, but the movie wasn't. So
That's odd.
Yeah, it was weird. But then in that scene, in the extra scene, I'm like, I'm pretty sure Jolene is self-editing.
Yes.
Yeah, which is also funny that I'm like, would a normal teenager do this?
I didn't look up at the rating. Is this PG-13?
It's PG-13.
Okay, that's
it's
why.
one F-bomb.
Yeah.
But I think it was going to be R. But I don't know. It's like, could you not like still have an R rating and like just take out the kind of any kind of violent implications? Like I don't know. I really don't know what to do to fix this movie other than make it a little longer because it's of course Vivica and Michael McKean are only in it for a couple seconds.
Yeah, it's an hour 34.
It's barely a movie. What's the whole point is you need to like put them head to head. But like Mrs. Tingle like always feels slightly above them.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe if there was a little bit more of you learn more things about Tingle as they've kidnapped her. They're reading her stuff. She's opening up. They kind of realize maybe this is a person who we need to have a little bit more sympathy for. Maybe our stuff isn't everything, isn't the center of the universe.
Yeah.
And then maybe at the end, if you have to kill her, because honestly, that's how you resolve the whole, wow, you guys kidnapped her and so she attacked you, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just, the ending is very much like, nope, she almost kills the student on accident. And then Michael McKean's like, you're fired. And then Katie Holmes is valedictorian.
Yeah.
Because they changed grade books too. How would she have still been valedictorian if like it came out that, I don't know.
It all falls apart at the end of the movie, honestly.
So,
I think it should have been more Tom and Jerry because, Tom is always losing. And I do like that the kids kept losing.
Yeah.
But also, I kind of wish, they went harder on the Matilda. What's the Matilda teacher that's really awful?
Oh, the Trunchbull.
Trunchbull.
Yeah.
So Tingle is much similar to that in that you don't really know why. I just wish they picked a lane. I wanted it more comedic or more horror.
Yeah.
And they just kept going like boom, bomb, boom,
Yeah.
boom.
Well, maybe it's like, maybe you don't set it so close to graduation.
Yes.
Set it a couple weeks. Maybe they're pranking her.
Doing
Maybe
a goof,
they're trying to find some way to change the grades or to do better. And then it escalates maybe in the last third to be like, oops, we've kidnapped her now.
Whoopsie daisy.
Oops. Yeah.
I will say, for most people that did not grow up in high school in the 90s or late 90s, I had the fortune of doing that because I'm old enough. This definitely nails the vibe of what 90s kids were like.
Yeah.
A lot of plaid shirts. Did you wear it on purpose?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe.
A lot of weirdness because I'm rewatching Buffy at the same time, so I'm noticing a lot of like '90s things that are supremely '90. Some kid always wearing a beanie, no matter how hot or cold it is outside. Someone with headphones, always wrapped around with a cassette player or a CD player.
Yep.
So in that terms, I think the setting is really well done.
Yeah.
Everything feels 90s. Even Jeffrey Tambor feels like he's from the 90s.
Even when they have to go develop film.
Yeah.
And they have to just drop it off.
Yeah.
It'll be done tomorrow.
Things that are lost to time.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. That's my favorite part of the movie. And then Mrs. Tingle is my second favorite.
Yeah. Just a movie, it's like...
I think it's a movie that would lend itself if you Rocky Horror Picture Showed it.
Yeah.
If you decided like there are certain parts in the movie where you could like shout at it and stuff.
Yeah.
I think if you sort of
like everyone does The Exorcist.
Yeah. If you reclaim it as
Yeah.
a chicken jockey type of thing.
Yeah.
I think Mrs. Tingle could get a rebirth
Could be.
But you really have to work to make it that.
Everyone's reclaiming things.
Yeah.
So there's so many movies being reclaimed. And honestly, some of the choices, they're not bold.
No.
It's like, oh great, we reclaimed the prequels.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
Well,
They were like, I liked them when they came out because I was a kid anyways. But also like, they're pretty competently made movies,
and also the first two are still terrible.
They're so bad.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, you like Revenge of the Sith? Not a hot take, guys.
Yeah. Most people do.
Most people do. But it's like, if we're gonna reclaim some stuff, let's truly reclaim some weird, goofy garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. John Waters says it best. In order to have good taste, you got to know what bad taste is. I don't think he says it that way, but that's basically what it boils down to. So sometimes go out there, find a really bad movie, and sort of be like, is this actually good?
But it doesn't have to actually be good.
No, I'm saying,
just say, you know what? You know what's a lot easier than sitting through 3.5 hours of The Brutalist? Still a great movie. Still incredible movie. But you know what's fun?
Teaching Mrs. Tingle.
Just turn on Teaching Mrs. Tingle and let that just just set the vibe.
I'm so glad that you compared Teaching Mrs. Tingle to The Brutalist.
Yeah.
There's similarities for sure.
Yeah, they are. They made so many movies like this.
Yes.
That there have got to be like little gems hidden in there, here and there.
Oh, yeah.
Or just gems that are like, you know what? Maybe we treated you too harshly, as Thanos said.
Yeah. And Hoopla is the place to go to find these things.
The library.
If you get a library card and Hoopla is available, there's so many gems, not only on Hoopla, but Canopy as well. Canopy has some actual bangers. They have Interstellar on there right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, use your library card for good to watch old movies that were maybe secretly good. This one isn't.
That's not. But movies that would 100% be playing on like channel 13 on a Sunday afternoon.
Yes.
And it's split up and edited, and that's how I saw The Faculty for the first time.
Yeah.
On like antenna TV on a random Sunday afternoon. I said,
a lot of us grew up watching made-for-TV edited versions of great movies, not knowing that version that they made for TV was truly awful.
Yeah.
And so you had to go out and find the original and be like, whoa.
Yeah. And then you're just going down go find Disturbing Behavior, because it's a movie.
Yeah. What's the hardest thing at being a cinephile as like a teenager in the late 90s, early 2000s?
Like being forced to rent full screen DVDs.
That my dad only exclusively rented full screens.
That's my parents did that too.
And I'd yell at him. I'm like, you can't see the entire frame.
I'm so psyched that you brought this up, because my family, we had so many full screen DVDs, and I'm like, what are we doing?
And those had pan and scan too. It wasn't as egregious.
God, I was rewatching Lord of the Rings on full screen.
I guess our point in this thing is sometimes go out there and experiment with old movies.
Yeah.
Look, just because a movie has 2.8 on Letterboxd does not mean that it's bad.
No.
It just means that a majority of people did not like it. You may love it. You have to know a bad movie in order to know what a good movie is.
Exactly.
That's why I don't hate these people. But I do dislike people that only watch movies that they know they're going to like.
Yeah.
Go out there, watch a bad movie.
Again, stop trying to reclaim Interstellar and Tenet. They're good movies.
Who's doing that?
The internet. They're like, hey, Tenet, low-key good. Tenet was pretty good when I saw it. Like,
it's only 5 years old.
I know. It's crazy. Listen, that's why we do this series.
Yeah.
Because we want to. You know what? You know what the series is? It's the $5 Walmart bin.
We are the $5 Walmart bin.
And we're just like, what? And we're like, what are we grabbing? Boom.
That should be the intro. Welcome back. This is the $5 Walmart bin. Let's go.